Fringe is one of those shows that it's not like sitting down, with all due respect, and watching a half-hour sitcom. It requires you to be prepared to sit and watch and to become involved. It's like going to the movies. It's the best way I can describe it is like going to a movie, because you really need to sit there and concentrate, enjoy, and when our aim is always to get a complete arc in every episode. So even though it's got this fantastic ongoing story, each week we try to finish off the immediate case. So it's more like watching a film than watching a half-hour or an hour episode of television. Shooting Fringe is kind of like shooting a feature film every 2 weeks. It's very demanding on everyone involved, but it's also very exciting because we all try to set the standards so high. In season 1, we touched on many things that we will go into. Genetic manipulation, as I've just said, is now kind of acceptable. You know, we don't think too much about having a cloned sheep or something of this nature. We have major political discussions about stem cell research, for example. Natural to go through these ethical dilemmas when we're dealing in this area. We do touch on these things in Fringe. We'll continue to touch on them because it's irresistible. I guess one of the most beautiful challenges of playing Walter Bishop is that coming from that place where he was so bombed out on drugs and by his isolation and his imprisonment and the things that they did to him in the asylum, that he slowly becomes aware of things that happened in the past. It's almost like fragments of memory come back to him, and they shock him, and they horrify him, and then they'll go away again. Or he'll remember aspects of Peter, his son, and things that he didn't do, and also that there is another Peter, which we refer to almost with the grave. And so these things come back. As a normal human being, he's horrified. But can you imagine what it's like to be aware that you may have committed great crimes and not being able to not even being able to remember it sufficiently to pay retribution for it? That's where